Hala, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM QADASH. We want to give infinite honor and praise and worship and prayer to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, to the Most High. We want to give salutations and our utmost respect and admiration to the apostles who have been bringing this truth out for decades in and decades out, and still pumping hard to bring out the truth and the accuracy of it, which is what we need at this particular time. So we definitely want to give our utmost respect and admiration to them. We also want to give salutations to the Akim that are out there on the highways and byways and bringing out this truth of ours that we struggle in, which is a joy for us to struggle in at this point in time. And we want to just also thank them tremendously for their fortitude and the way they've been bringing forth the work, which is what we're supposed to do. All the Akwaf and those sisters that are listening and learning, we also want to say hang in there and stay with this. It's going to get a rough ride coming, but we're going to be through this, because even through Jacob's trouble, we will be saved out of it. At least that's what we pray for. And we want to start off with a prayer, a praise, a worship, praise, and prayer to Yahawah, because that's the nature of the way I come. This is your brother Obadiah Yahawah Canaan, and the platform the Most High brought me on obviously is an observer to the degree of, once you're in this truth, you have to be a watchman and observe and watch what's going on. And then when the RAWACCA edition, the Holy Spirit brings it to you, you got to bring it out. And that's what it's about. So I like to first and foremost say to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, forgive me, Father, if I've done anything or said anything that offends you in the kingdom. Babakashah, Barakatah, Yahawah, Tawara, and Shalaki, for anything I've done that would be not of the nature of Yahawah that we strive to try to emulate in any way we can. And as my people say, Yahawah, Yahawah, Yahawah Hawashai, Yah Yahawah Yahawashai, Yah Kal Ha Yahawah Yahawah Yahawashai, Yahweh Yahweh Yah Yahawah Yahawashai. All right, my praise and worship is in. I've been doing it a lot all day. Oh, mercy, Father, Yahawashai, praising the Father and the Son and getting it out. We're dealing with a variety of different things that are very problematic at this particular time. I've been observing the consternation that has been going on amongst the brethren lately. More or less, it's been troubling to listen to some of the things that is going down. And, you know, the nature of what we may or may not understand is very important to try to disseminate the difference. The Most High gave me a lesson today. And, you know, once I get a lesson, it takes a minute for me to get it because the Most High is like, you know, the way he operates with me is unique in its fashion. So for the most part, I'll grab some of my tea. Slack. For the most part, he told me in the spirit that we're dealing with this form of spiritual and carnal concupiscence. Now, concupiscence is very interesting in terms of what it is and how it operates. Now, primarily, it's usually associated with some kind of sensual or sin that is involved with intimacy or sexuality or something of that nature. But sometimes, of course, it's not always that. It's even deeper. I've been taking my notes and stuff and getting stuff down. So let me get my glasses on so I can get right to it. Now, what I wrote down is like, okay, from my notes. Okay, so stay with me. We commonly associated concupiscence with sexual temptation, but it affects us on a far deeper level, opening us to the attraction of all sin, okay, of all sin, all right? If we surrender our sin weakness, if we surrender to our sin, it weakens the bonds that ought to unite us to the other members of the body of Hamashiach and makes us more apt to sin again. So it goes deeper than just that sensual side of the situation. Now, what we've been experiencing lately is we have been seeing that some of the members of various other organizations or camps have been going at each other as factions of discord between the activities that are going on. We don't have to go. I don't have to go into naming names because it's pretty evident if you're in this truth and you follow the truth diligently. You know what's happening. And so what we seem to come to find is that this concupiscence, it's like you have a spiritual side and a carnal side of the concupiscence. And they are, and those individuals who are so zealfully passionate about the process of trying to explain what you are to adhere to and what you shouldn't adhere to in terms of the word of righteousness, and everything that comes out of the mouth of the Father is righteous in terms of his word, which is his law. And so you have these construed versions that come in from a carnal perspective and a spiritual perspective. And then what we don't seem to understand, or what's not being related correctly. And I know that, you know, the apostles are doing a fantastic job of breaking this down. They have been for decades, as I said. They've been outlining and explaining the fact that there are various levels of understanding that you have to operate under in this level of captivity that we're in as we move through this prophetic process. And so as we're moving through it, there are different types of categories that have been attached to this fallen state that we're in, based on what the Father has decided to do. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has decided to say and do, because when he does what he says, and he says what he means, and he does what he says he's going to do. And so when he does that, he's putting his left hand and his right hand into action, and he's controlling all of it. So what I'm trying to bring to you is the fact that the lesson, the name of my lesson, that'll help clear up some of where I'm going with this commentary. YAHAWAH to the elect. Now understand my left hand. All of this is his will. Now understand my left hand. Now the reason why he said understand my left hand is a couple of different things that need to be addressed. One, everything is handled by YAHAWAH in terms of the body that he uses through the Hamashiach. YAHAWASHI Hamashiach is the face of YAHAWAH. He is the voice of YAHAWAH. He is the power being used through YAHAWAH, by YAHAWAH through YAHAWASHI completely. He is the angel of death. He is that angel of mercy. Now, I'm not saying YAHAWAH does not use the spiritual entity, Satan, to do various things for him as well. He does. Clearly, you know he does if you've been in this truth long enough. But what we need to understand is everything filters through YAHAWASHI. He's been given authority and the power to do this. But see, he's so righteous and humble as the Son of the Most High that he tells you that he comes to do the Father's will. And we're going to pull them scriptures from John 2 so that we make sure that we understand exactly what we're saying. But let me not digress on this part. I got to finish talking about this. We got to understand that the left hand that YAHAWAH wields, and we're going to pull scripture on this, because he creates all things and he does all things. His left hand is still being used through YAHAWASHI and the angels that are under the jurisdiction of YAHAWASHI, because the Father set it up that way. So, and this left hand is touching all areas of his creation. Don't get it twisted. Okay, you're in the truth, and you're prayerfully worship and praise prayerfully that you're the hopeful elect, which is what we need to do. We can't activate any of the power that comes from the Most High Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi by one source of communication only. You have to be applying praise, worship, and prayer. It's a combination formula for the process of getting Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi to enact the power upon what your request or what you are doing as the hopeful elect. Let me say it again. The praise, worship, and prayer. You have to have it all. That's how the power is released. And see, this is what Esau Edom fears. He wants you not to do all three. He wants you just to do the one. He wants you to say, okay, just pray. All right. We know prayer is extremely important and immensely strong. But they know, and you should know, that praise and worship is a completely different level of power when they're combined in all the three. And you'll see that in some of the scriptures and stuff that we're going to bring out. So you need to really clearly understand this. That's what we're talking about. So as I was saying, the Most High is going to, and he is doing it now. He's touching all his creation with the left hand and the right. The right hand represents Yahawashi, and in turn, most of what you get from the right hand, and I'm going to say, Shalaki, I'm going to say what the right hand brings: the comforter, the blessings, and also the resolve of salvation through Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. The left hand is the correction portion that actually brings you to the salvation method, because once you get chastised and corrected as being of the potential elect, you can come back in the fold and be part of the fold in the sheep, and then be covered towards and move towards salvation. But you can also be chastised to the method of your predestinated process that you've been selected from the beginning, from the foundation of the world, to perform in the lot that you have, if it is a lot of degradation, which means a low state. Okay. Now, saying that in that way, what I'm bringing to you is he's touching all creation. That means whether you are in an organization or not in an organization, whether you are in a camp or not a camp, whether you are of a level of teacher, apostle, or prophet, or elder, whatever, you will be touched by all sides of this. The Most High chastises the good as well as the bad, and everything in between. So let's just not get that twisted. Make sure we completely understand that. Aaron, case in point, and why he gave me the lesson, Yahawah to the elect. Now understand my left hand. And then, that side note, all of this is his will. And that's how it goes. You will not get past his will because it's predestinatedly set up. So in knowing all of that, we have to understand that the Most High is going to be very diligent in terms of how he's going to be presenting his information out in total. Now, so what this entails from the Ruach HaKodesh and Holy Spirit has given me is the fact that Yahawah controls all things. As he says, I, the Lord, do all these things, right? We are in complete control of absolutely nothing, okay? He is in control of all things through Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. Even Yahawashi completely confesses and says, I do all things, right, by the hand of my Father. And we're going to pull that scripture, of course, and we'll pull all that. The Father says, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi says, to give the understanding of that prophetical premise that we are under. I did a lesson on the spirit of prophecy as our test, is your test, right? And this is kin to that, the train of thought and spiritual connotation of what the Most High has planned to bring out next. We can clearly see from the activities of the brethren and all of the heathen and everyone else, not including them with us, of course, that the Most High is clearly prophetically directing everything through his predestinated hand, and in reference to what the outcome of all things will be. He also has made these determinations unprecedentedly, and they will not be changed. His timeline is not our timeline. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. Clearly, it directs back to the fact that Yahawah now understand the left hand. This is going to speak to the areas of spiritual blockage that will be included, that the Most High has put upon all things in some fashion that move, in heaven as well as that has heaven as is in earth, right? And he is also showing that everything that is going on is not about anything other than himself, getting the glory for himself. We have layers of his grace and his blessings and mercy that encompass what the chosen people, of course, first and foremost, the first chosen Yahawashi, and then it all filters down to the elect, and then all of the predestinated people who the Most High have chosen. And at this particular point in time, I think, and I know for sure, that this final conclusion of bringing things full circle through the RAWACCA and YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the Most High is showing that it is about basically is his power, which he is that power, and he is that power of control. Even though we have some levels of understanding of this nature of application, it's far beyond what we understand or even overstand. The Most High does things in a way where what we could understand and what we should understand is beyond what we can understand for the most part. Not in a way, of course, of leaving us out or in the dark, or leaving out full prophetic disclosure, but just to give us the understanding that your faith is centered around the power that you will receive, but it cannot be activated, as I said, or obtained unless the three cycles of creation that the Most High put in place are activated, which are praise, worship, and prayer. Those are the three cycles that have to be activated. They have to be collectively be applied in order for the power through the RAWACCA this will deliver us to be activated at that point in time. And you have to do it through YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI and the firstborn, who is Hamashiach. This is the portion that is layered to us, and but it rolls back to complete understanding and control and honor and glory and praise and worship to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, for it's about him. It's about the Father, and it's not about us. You know, now we do understand, because it is about the Father and not about us in terms of his totality. He is sharing his glory with no one. And because he is not sharing his glory with anyone, we have to understand how he has set forth this opportunity for us to primarily be saved. Our salvation is going to come in this way from YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And those categories in that process that is set up, we have to adhere to it stringently in order for us to get this power activated. As I said, Esau Edom doesn't want you to praise and worship. He'll let you pray, and sometimes he'll let you do each one in a singularity fashion. You know, he'll let you worship, but don't pray. He'll let you pray, but don't praise. You know, he'll hit you with the disillusion and confusion in order to keep it from being something that is, you know, collectively done. And once we understand that that power is of that particular process, then we can really move and do for the Most High and for the elect. Okay, clearly that's a long enough. That's 20. You know, I know my commentaries get long, but you got to do this. Like I said, if you are here for entertainment, this is not the channel for you. You need to go somewhere else and go find some graphics or some things that could fly around and excite your eyes and your mind. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to help you learn something here. So you're gonna bear with me on that note. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. Okay, all right. So let's get started. We talked about spiritual and carnal concupiscence and how that drills down further to a level of sin that you see happening with this this level of consternation that's going between the brethren and various other organizations and camps. Once that the breakup happened in One West, we had a lot of wayward issues and situations happen with the men supposedly of the Lord that went in all these different directions, but they couldn't stick together. The Most High broke it up. If he broke up the organization, he found something that was not right within the organization of the house of David at the time, that he felt he needed to separate the truth from the fake, you know. And so that's why you have the dissemination of what you have at this time. And then you have fringe aspects of it happening to us in terms of individuals that monetize the truth and go in that direction. So you can see how he needed to get that out of the way of the truth and then keep the accuracy of the truth with the apostles and going in that direction. But all of us have spiritual blockage in some way, because if it weren't so, then everything would have been kept completely cohesively together. The Most High decided he needed to separate for his reasons. His thoughts are not our thoughts, his ways are not our ways, but we can clearly see the direction of the truth that's being offered, where it is at this where it stands right now. We see who's hireling, who's in the process of the hireling and the monetization process, and we see those that are in the truth and drawing forward and out really busting their hump to get this truth out the way it's supposed to. Okay, let's get into what's going on. That's the first place we're gonna go is we're gonna go to John, and we're gonna go to the book of John. So join me in the book of John, and we're gonna go to 5. Let's go to 5:19, and then book of John, chapter 5, verse 19. Verse 19. Then answered Yahawashi and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. Okay, so you can see right now, the Most High is letting you know he sent his son with all power. And when Yahawashi came with the power that he has, he brought it forward in a way that shows the power and how it will get down. Okay, so that's important. Shalaki, give me a second. 1 second. Okay. Hey, you got to get up. Okay. I'm doing my lesson. I got to go back. Yes, I told you I would be doing that. You just make sure when you come out, go through here, okay, and not out here. All right. Okay, Shalaki. All right. Thwada, I'm back. All right. So I said, John chapter 5, we did 19. Now we're going to go and stay with John chapter 5, and we're going to go down to 30. Okay, so it says, I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father which hath sent me. So again, Yahawashi is coming in the complete image of the Father. He is the image. As I said before, not only is he the image, but he is coming in the power of the Father. He is coming in the voice of the Father. He is to get the worship and the praise the way the Father set it up for him, because he's in control of all things. Okay, this First John tells you about all that as well. Okay, let's see here. We want what we want. Shalaki. All right. We want to go to First John, because we were in John for a minute, and we're going to start at 14. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. 15. John bare witness of him and cried, saying, This was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have all we received, and grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahawashi HaMashiach. 18. No man hath seen Yahawah at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. All right. Now, of course, you know, that brings also the precepts coming in from Matthew 3, 1 through 12, Mark 11, chapter 1, 1 through 8, and Luke 3, chapter 3, 1 through 20. Okay. So just wanted to make sure that you had that, that part of it. I needed to make sure I got that to you. All right. Next, we're going to go to John 6, chapter 6. Go with me, John chapter 6, and we're going to go to 38. All right. All right, 38, and it says, For I came down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. All right. So the Most High is clearly letting you know that he sent his son with all authority and all power to do everything. That's all in the book of John. You go there, you studying this, you already know this. It's already apparent for that part. So I'm just making sure I give you the emphasis of the fact that the left hand of the Father is still being used through Yahawashi. Now, as I said before, does he use the spiritual entity Satan? Yes, he does. For whatever purpose he decides to put that forth, and he will send that entity along with the angels that are the left hand side of the work of the Most High. And we're going to touch 1 Kings and get into that as well. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we got that down. Okay, let's get through some of our scriptures here. I got on my notes. I got a few. I want to take you here now. First, we're going to talk about the left hand side of the Most High's power in a couple of different precepts, and then we're going to do the right hand, because can't do the left hand without the right, can't do the right without the left. It's got to be that way. Okay, so We're going to now go to, I want to go to 2nd Chronicles. Okay, so bear with me and join me at 2nd Chronicles. And we're going to start at chapter 20. And 9 is where is the actual precept I want to pull, but I gotta pull a lot of that because most of that chapter is fire. It's very heavy. And just wanted to mention Yahweh's judgments is mentioned mentioned in 49 books of the Bible. Okay, number one, and it occurs 283 times in the Bible. All right, so that's the judgments, right? Okay, so let's go to first. We'll get that precept that I want, which is chapter 20, 2nd Chronicles chapter 20 and verse 9, and it says, if when evil cometh upon us as a sword, judgment, or pestilence, or famine, we stand before this house and in thy presence, for thy name is in this house, and cry unto thee in our affliction, then thou wilt hear and help. So what we're saying here is we're getting ready to go through a tumultuous time that's going to be so horrendous that the only way that we can get any help here is the full application of praise, worship, and prayer. It's got to be turned up in that manner. That's the only way you're going to be able to get through this is through praise, worship, and prayer to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. If you're not doing that, it's going to be completely impossible for you to look at a way of salvation, a way to be saved. So now I got that precept. Now let's pull from the chapter itself. At the top, it came to pass after this also that the children of Moab and the children of Ammon, and with them other besides the Amorites, came against Jehoshaphat to battle. Now this is important. That's why I'm reading this, because sometimes you got to get the context from the chapter, and it kind of tells you how the left hand of the Most High operates in judgment, right? Then there came some that told Jehoshaphat, saying, there cometh a great multitude against thee from beyond the sea on this side of Syria, and behold, they be in has no Tamar, which is in Elit. Okay, so what is has no Tamar? Okay, all right, has no Tamar, which is in Elit. Okay, that is a location here where the QADASH smote the country of the Amalekites, right? The Amalekites and were smoted in that particular area by Jehoshaphat. That's and then it talks about is in Engedi, Engedi. It's a place where David dwelt in a stronghold. That's 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 29. It means En means spring, and Jedi means goat kid. Okay, so it's the kid spring of the fountain of the goat. I mean the goat Shalaki. The kid spring of fountain of the kid. Okay, so that's what that Jedi means. Has a Tamar Jedi. Okay, so I want to make sure you had that. All right, yeah, I got that. So the son of Metathai, the son of Ashvar. Okay, all right. So we make sure we got that. All right. Now let me finish. Okay, there we go. And Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek Yahweh, and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. And Judah gathered themselves together to ask help of Yahweh, even out of all of the cities of Judah. They came to speak to Yahweh. And Jehoshaphat stood in the congregation of Judah and Jerusalem in the house of Yahweh before the new court, and said, O Yahweh, power of our fathers, art not thou power in heaven, and rulest not thou over all the kingdoms of the heathen? Question. And in thine hand is there not power and might, so that none is able to withstand thee? Question 7. Art not thou our power, who didst drive out the inhabitants of the land before thy people Israel, and gavest it to the seed of Abraham thy friend forever? Question. Number 8. And they dwelt therein and have built thee a sanctuary therein for thy name, saying, 9. If when evil cometh, that was the verse, right? The precept. If evil cometh come upon us, Shalaki, as the sword, judgment, or pestilence, or famine, we stand before this house and in thy presence. For thy name is in this house, and cry unto thee in our affliction, then thou wilt hear and help. So that's telling you that if you're going through any kind of affliction or anything of that nature, the Most High will help you if you praise, worship, and pray to him for help. Okay? 10. And now behold, the children of Ammon and Moab and Mount Seir. See, you got the Ammonites, which would be the Japanese, right? You got the Moabites, which would be in Chinese, and then you got the Amalekites, which will be those in Mount Seir, right? Who thou wouldest not let Israel invade when they came out of the land of Egypt, but they turned from them and destroyed them not. 11. Behold, I say how they reward us to come to cast us out of thy possession, which thou hast given us to inherit. 12. O our power, wilt thou not judge them? Question. For we have no might against this great company that cometh against us. See, you don't have any power. It all comes from YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Neither know we what to do, but our eyes are open upon thee. Our eyes are upon thee. 13. And all Judah stood before Yahweh with their little ones, their wives, and their children. 14. Then upon Jezreel, the son of Zacharias, the son of Benaniah, the son of Jeriel, and the son of Mattaniah, a Levite of the sons of Ashdod, came the Spirit of Yahweh in the midst of the congregation. Okay? All right, so you got son of Benaiah, son of Mattaniah, and the son of Ashdod. These were all Levite, these were all parts of the Levitical priesthood. Okay? Just to bring that out to you. Okay? And he said, hearken ye all Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat, thus saith Yahweh unto you, be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but Yahweh's. Okay? See? He's going to do it for you, right? 16. Tomorrow go ye down against them. Behold, they come up by the cliff of Zid. The cliff of Zid. That is a location in Jerusalem below and near Bethlehem, okay, in Judah, Zid, right? All right, and ye shall find them in the end of the brook before the wilderness of Jurel. All right, 17, ye shall not need to fight in this battle. See, you don't even have to fight. This is what we need to remember when all this consternation and all this tumultuous peril comes in from Jacob's trouble. We don't have to fight. Most High is going to make them fight. All right, listen, watch how it goes down. Okay, you don't have to fight in this battle. Set yourselves, stand ye still, and see the salvation of Yahweh, the Lord, with you, O Judah and Jerusalem. Fear not, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for Yahweh will be with you. 18, and Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the Lord, before Yahweh, worshiping the Lord, worshiping Yahweh. Let me read that again. See, this is what I'm telling you. That's where the power comes in. Do you understand? Let me give it to you again. Do you overstand? Can you get this? And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before Yahweh, worshiping the Lord Yahweh. 19. And the Levites of the children of the Kohathites, and the children of Korathites stood up to praise Yahweh, power of Israel, with a loud voice on high. Okay, so who are the Kohathites? They're descendants of Epimos Koreth, all right? The son of Levi, all right? And then we got the Korahites. The Korites. They're the descendants of Korah. That's Exodus 6:24, 1 Chronicles 12:6 and 26, verse 1, and then 2 Chronicles 20, verse 19. We'll touch some more of that. Let's finish. Okay? All right, and 20. And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness to Tekoa. Okay, what is Tekoa? It's a town in Judah near Bethlehem. Tekoa means trumpet. Okay, just to give you that information. Okay, and as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, "Hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in Yahawah your power, so shall ye be established. Believe his prophets, so ye shall prosper." Okay? All right? 21. And when he had consulted with the people, he appointed singers. See, this is where the praise and worship comes in. Singers unto Yahawah, and that should praise the beauty of holiness as they went out before the army, and to say, praise Yahawah, for his mercy endureth forever. Okay? 22. And when they began to sing and to praise Yahawah, set ambushments against the children of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir, which were come against Judah, and they were smitten. See, this is where the power, that's why I said that praise and worship comes. That's where the power comes. The scripture is telling you right there. It's telling you right there. 23. For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir. See, they're fighting against each other now. Utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped to destroy another. This is what we got coming now in terms of Esau and the Edomites going at each other. Which you got Russia and the United States, and then you got Moab over there with North Korea and China. They're all getting ready to come at the children of Israel, but at the same time, the Most High is going to say, stand and see the power of the Lord, of Yahawah. Okay? All right, 24. And when Judah came toward the watchtower in the wilderness, they looked unto the multitude, and behold, they were dead bodies fallen to the earth, and none escaped. And then, of course, Jehoshaphat and the rest took spoils and everything. But, okay, that's what I wanted to pick up from 2 Chronicles in terms of seeing the left hand of the Most High, how not only did it judge those that are supposed to be judged, but it also judged the children of the Most High, and it took out the enemies, okay, without a problem. Okay, now I want to go to Amos chapter 3 now. So go with me to Amos chapter 3, and we're going to pick up 1 through 8. Amos 3, 1 through 8. Hear this word that Yahawah hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up out of the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for your iniquities. See, the Most High is not going to play favorites. He is going to, without a shadow of a doubt, he is going to take down even wicked Israelites that aren't working with each other, in the right way towards the truth. Even if you're not supposed to be working with each other, you are supposed to strive to get to the truth. And if you're going to stay in your wickedness, you will be taken down, because his judgment starts in the house of Israel first. Whether you are 2/3, 1/3, or anything in between or left out, you're going to be judged as well. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? Question. Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing? Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth where no gin is for him? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahawah the Lord hath not done it? See, the left hand. Understand the left hand. Okay? Surely the Lord Yahawah will do nothing, but he revealeth the secrets unto his servants the prophets. 8. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord Yahawah hath spoken, who can but prophesy? Question. 9. Publish in the places of Ashdod and in the places in the land of Egypt, and say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, and behold the great tumults in the midst thereof, and the oppressed in the midst thereof. For they know not to do right, saith Yahawah, who store up violence and robbery in their places. Therefore, thus saith Yahawah power, an adversary there shall be even round about the land, and he shall bring down thy strength from thee, and thy places shall be spoiled. 12. Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, as the shepherds taketh out the mouth of the lion 2 legs, or a piece of an ear, so shall the children of Israel be taken out that dwell in Samaria, and in the corner of the bed, and in Damascus in a couch. All right, and I'm going to stop on this part. Hear ye and testify in the house of Jacob, saith the Lord Yahawah, the power of hosts. Okay, so just wanted to show you, his left hand is not stayed. It will go and do what he says it's going to do, and nothing's going to stop it. No matter what you say or what you do, it's going to come down. All right, now just to go to bring in some more left hand action that the Most High is bringing forward, I want to take you to 1 Kings, okay, and we're going to go to 22, okay. This is very familiar because most of us know about this one and 19, because and 19 is the left hand being activated. But we're going to bring it from 1 down to 23, so go with me. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. So remember all of what happened with Jehoshaphat in the first part of 2 Chronicles I will read to you and talk to you about. Now we go a little bit forward here and we talk about kings in terms of what happened, right? So listen, okay. And it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel. And the king of Israel said unto his servants, know ye that Ramoth in Gilead is ours, and we, Shalaki, and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria. See, question. He's asking, but see, you got something coming. All right. And he said unto Jehoshaphat, wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? Question. And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. So clearly Judah and the northern kingdom king are looking at trying to come together with something here. But let's just see if the Most High is on board with this, okay? Okay, Shalaki. 5. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, inquire, I pray thee, at the word of Yahawah today. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? Question. And they said, go up, for the Lord shall deliver it unto the hand of the king. Oh, really? Okay. And Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of Yahawah besides, that we might inquire of him? In other words, who are these dudes, and who are these false guys, and what about a real prophet of the Most High? Jehoshaphat knows the difference, right? Okay, just as the apostles know the difference today. There is a difference, okay? All right. And 8, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micah, all right? Micah, the son of Ila, by whom we may inquire of Yahawah, but I hate him. See this? He don't like to hear the truth. For he doeth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. See, a lot of wicked kings and wicked leaders don't want to hear the truth. So they hate to hear the truth, so they end up hating the one or the prophet that's bringing the truth. Very clear, we can see that, right? Okay. For he doeth not prophesy good concerning me. In other words, but evil. So he's not giving you what you want to hear. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, hasten hither, Micah, Mahakah, the son of Imlah, and the king of Israel, and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, sat each on his throne, having put on their robes in a void place in the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before him. And Zedekiah, the son of Cheniah, made him horns of iron. And he said, thus saith Yahawah, with these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou have consumed them. Right. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for Yahawah shall deliver it into the king's hand. This doesn't sound like it's going to work out. And the messenger that was going to call Micah spake unto him, saying, behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. See, they begging. I don't know where they're going to get this from. And Micah said, as Yahawah liveth, what Yahawah saith unto me, that will I speak. 15, we're getting into it. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, go and prosper, for Yahawah shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And the king said unto him, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of Yahawah? 17, and he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. And Yahawah said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. See, this is what you see now with a lot of the wayward leaders that are shepherds who are leading the sheep who have no master. This is what they're dealing with. Okay? Okay? 18, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell you thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? Okay, he's just telling you the truth. And 19, and he said, hear thou therefore the word of Yahawah. I saw Yahawah sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. This is the famous action, right? And Yahawah said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on this manner. Now this is the Israelite king, and the Most High is telling him that he's going to let him go up to Ramoth Gilead, and he's going to fall. He ain't going to make it. Okay? This is what the prophet's telling him, right? And he said, and there came forth a spirit and stood before Yahawah and said, I will persuade him. Now a spirit showing up, right? That the Most High had all the hosts of heaven. Nobody was absent. Everybody was there. Okay? All right. 22. And Yahawah said unto him, wherewith? In other words, what are we going to do? What's the plan? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now, we can see here that the Most High is now sending a spirit from the left-hand side to be a lying spirit to go up and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all Ahab's prophets. Now, once he set this spirit loose, it doesn't say he ever called him back. It doesn't say he ever said, okay, I'm going to set him loose, and then at a certain time, I'm going to call him back. So this transcends even to this period of time now, where we have a lot of these so-called prophets out here that they have a spirit from the left-hand side that the Most High uses, right? You have your spirits that are vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor that the Most High uses. Now, this spirit is going to be a lying spirit, and it shows forward today you got a lot of these so-called prophets out here and so-called people in the truth, whether they be in the religious practitioner community or whether they be in the awakening of the truth. Okay, the Most High controls all sides of this. So he sent a lying spirit to go and be in the mouth of all these prophets. And this is what you continue to see right now. T.D. Snakes, Creflo, Worthless Dollar, Joel, Feminine Allstein, you've seen all of them. They all got spirits in them of lying prophets. And this is what the Most High poured out, and it hasn't been pulled back. Okay, so now we're going to go, all right, down to 24. But Zedekiah, the son of Chaniah, went near and smote Mahacah on the cheek and said, which way went the spirit of Yahweh from me to speak unto thee? 25. And Mahacah said, behold, thou shalt see in that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. And the king of Israel said, take Mahacah and carry him back into Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Josiah the king's son, and say, thus saith the king, put this fellow in prison and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I come in peace. See? And Mahacah said, if thou return at all in peace, Yahweh hath not spoken by me. And he said, hearken, O people, every one of you. Okay? So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and enter into the battle, but thou on thy put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself and went into battle. But the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains that had rule over the chariots, saying, fight neither with small nor great, save only with the king of Israel. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, surely it is the king of Israel. And they turned aside to fight against him. And Jehoshaphat cried out. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. And in a certain man drew a bow and at a venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, turn thine hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed upon his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even. And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. Okay, so as you can see, the Most High, you don't escape. If his left hand is against you, you could disguise yourself, which the king tried to put on robes that had put on garments that weren't kingly. But even though they saw that the one that had on the king's garments wasn't the king, they turned and went and got the king anyway. So he was destined to fall at Ramoth Gilead, just like it said right here in this particular portion. This is the left hand, like the lesson is saying. Yahweh to the elect. Now understand my left hand. We've got to completely understand that the Most High is using his left hand to cover all aspects of that happened between all of Israel. Nothing, no one's excluded. Just like I did in the lesson of the cup of wrath that's poured out on the whole world. Everyone's going to have some portion of this cup, whether it is you experience people that you know, family, friends, or whatever, that get touched for the wickedness that they have not repented for, or whether it be people in the truth who have not repented for wickedness that they've done. You will touch the cup of wrath when it's poured out. It will touch you as well. But see, what we don't seem to realize is the way that we can get some semblance of comfort or salvation is we have to have the combination of what? Praise, worship, and prayer. Just like you got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? Yahawah, Yahawashi, YAHAWASHI, and the RAWACCA QADASH in the Hebrew. That's what you have. You have to have all three. You cannot just have just one. And if you plan to try to operate with just one, you're going to come up deficient. And that's what you see happening with Ahab at Ramoth Gilead. He was deficient. He did not have the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. He didn't have it. So that combination destroyed him. And this is what we can experience at this point in time. If we do not understand that formula, you have to operate in that manner. Okay? All right? Where are we going next? Okay. Now we're going to go into how the right hand of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is also put forth at this time. The right hand spoken through Yahawashi from Yahawah. That's what we're going to touch. We have to touch. We touch the left. We touch the right. The lesson is, right, to the elect. Now understand my left hand, right? All of this is his will. I will completely continue to say that. Okay, so the first place we're going to go to understand the right hand spoken through Yahawashi by Yahawah is we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 9. So go with me to Proverbs, and we're going to go to chapter 9, and we're going to hit verse 10. Okay, and chapter 9, verse 10 reads, "The fear of Yahawah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding." Okay, all right. So that was the precept I wanted for to get this started on the right hand spoken through Yahawashi from Yahawah. Next, we're going to Psalms chapter 34, Psalms 34, and we want verse 8. Psalms 34, verse 8, and it reads, "O taste and see that Yahawah is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him." Okay, I'll even give you 9. O fear the Lord, Yahawah, yea, his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him. So if you fear him and you practice the praise, worship, and prayer, you have the covering. You have the full gospel armor on. You don't have just a shield or just a sword or just a helmet. You want it all. Okay? Next, we're going to go to Shalaki. We're going to go to the book of Joshua. Okay? All right, we're going to Joshua chapter 1 and verse 9. Joshua 1 and verse 9. And it reads, "Have not I commanded thee?" Question. "Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For Yahawah thy God, thy power is with thee, whithersoever thou goest." Okay, so even if we're going through turmoil and trouble, the Most High is with us. Okay. Next, we're going to go to we're going to pop over to 1 Thessalonians, and we're going to go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and we want 16 and 18. Chapter 5, 16 and 18, and it reads, "Rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing." Okay, and pray without ceasing. "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yahawah in Hamashiach Yahawashi concerning you. Quench not the spirit, despise not prophesying." 21, "Prove all things, hold fast that which is good, abstain from all appearances of evil, and the very power of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray, Yahawah, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Yahawashi Hamashiach." Right? "And faithful is he that calleth you, who also will do it." All right, so that was 1 Thessalonians, and I pulled it all the way down to 25, right? 24. Shalaki. All right, next we're going to pop back to Proverbs chapter 3. I want Proverbs chapter 3 and 5 and 6. Chapter 3 and 5 and 6. And it reads, "Trust in Yahawah with all thine heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." Okay? "Be not wise in thy own eyes, fear Yahawah, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. 9, honor Yahawah with thy substance and with thy first fruits of all thine increase. Okay? Now, I'm going to pull some more from there because it's just so awesome. 10, so shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of Yahawah, neither be weary of his correction. 12, for whom Yahawah loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Okay? And so happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that getteth understanding. All right? So he's chastising and he's going to judge everyone, all of us. No one is excluded from this. You must remember this and practice this. Okay, next we're going to go to 2 Timothy. Okay, so go with me to 2 Timothy chapter 3. And we're going to read 16 and 17. Maybe more. We'll see. We'll do 16 and 17. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahawah, by power, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of Yahawah may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. It says all scripture is given by inspiration and is profitable. So you cannot say that the book of Hebrews is not part of Yahawah's word and not part of who he is. That's blasphemy, and you have to pay for that. Okay. Psalms, we're going to Psalms chapter 25, 4 and 5. So go with me to Psalms, and we're going to chapter 25, and we're going with 4 and 5. Show me thy ways, O Yahawah, teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth, and teach me, for thou art the power of my salvation. On thee do I wait all day. Okay? We got a few more, and then we'll close out. Colossians. Okay? We're going to Colossians chapter 3. All right? So go with me to Colossians, and we want chapter 3, and we want 23. All right? And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as Yahawah, as the Lord, and not unto men. Okay? Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve Yahawah, Hamashiach. Yahawashah Hamashiach. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respecter of persons. That's what I'm saying. You don't think that just because you think you're doing all this work that you can't be touched, because the Most High will still touch you if you're wrong. All right? Because you got a lot of camps and individuals and organizations that are out here doing stuff, selling all kinds of devices and trinkets and all kinds of other things, and they still out there trying to do the work, but they're still doing a lot of stuff that's wrong. Okay? All right, next we're going to go to 1 Peter chapter 5, 6, and 7. 1 Peter chapter 5, 6, and 7. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahawah, that he may exalt you in due time. Humble yourself. This is a big problem amongst our brethren and people in the truth. They're not very humble. And they appear to be, but they're really not. Okay? Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Be sober and vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay? All right. Next, we're going to go to Philippians 4, verse 6 and 7. All right. So join me in Philippians chapter 4, 6 and 7, and it reads, Philippians chapter 4, 6 and 7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Yahawah. Okay? Now, we know for sure that if we're dealing with prayer and thanksgiving, all right, he says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition. Prayer and petition, that brings me to Matthew chapter 6, 9 through 11. And then, of course, in thanksgiving, that includes your worship. That's Psalms chapter 50, verse 23, right? And that's where you have to have gratitude for your understanding, which transcends, it says here, thanksgiving, present your request to Yahawah, and the peace of Yahawah, which transcends all understanding. See? That's why you need the three. You have to be able to perform the three. Okay? All right. Let's go to Philippians, since we're already here. Let's go to 2 and 3 and 4. Let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Okay, and also we're going to pick up 4. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let his mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahawashi, who being in the form of Yahawah, thought it not robbery to be equal with Yahawah, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Wherefore Yahawah also hath highly exalted him, and given him the name which is above every name. Okay? So you have to be humble. Even Hamashiach, Yahawashi Hamashiach was humble. So what does that tell you? If Yahawashi Hamashiach is humble, if you're not being humble, then what are you doing? How wrong are you in this way? Okay, let's go to Isaiah chapter 40, and we're going to close out in the little bit left. I got a little left to close you out with, so just bear with me. Okay? All right. Isaiah 40 and 28. 40 and 28. And it reads, Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting power, Yahawah, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary? Question. There is no searching of his understanding. I want to read that one again, because that really brings home what I'm talking about here, as far as to the elect now understand my left hand. Okay? All right? Because if you don't get this one, I don't know. Hast thou not known? Question. Hast thou not heard that the everlasting power, Yahawah, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary? There is no searching of his understanding. Okay? I'm going to get Romans here, chapter 8, 28. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Okay? And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahawah, to them that are called according to his purpose. Okay? 29, I'll give it to you. For whom he did foreknow, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestine, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified. Right? He also justified, them he also glorified. All right? So you got to remember, this has all been a selection that the Most High did from the beginning. All right? Now, I got Zephaniah chapter 3, Samuel chapter 7, because I really wanted to pull all these. I know you probably are saying, oh, no, don't do that, but I have to. I really need to pull all these. I'm trying to get you to understand and understand what's going on here. I could go further. Let's see, what am I doing here? I could go so much further, but I really do need to pull some of this. Okay, let's go to Zephaniah first. All right, let's do Zephaniah. Zephaniah and chapter 3. All right, let's read it. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressed city. She obeyeth not the voice. She receiveth not correction. She trusteth not Yahawah. She drew not near to her power. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bone to the marrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence. They have done violence to the law. See, this is what the apostles are bringing out about the stuff that's going on with some of these leaders that have gone wayward, and this is what they're doing. Okay, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Read 6. I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. 7. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. This is what's going on. Precept here gives me Genesis 11:1 through 9 and Acts 2:1 through 11. Therefore wait upon me, saith Yahawah, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. This is what he's doing with pulling all these people together of these various other nations when they're getting ready to go into World War III. 9, for then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahawah, to serve him with one consent. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my supplements, even the daughters of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings wherein thou hast transgressed against me, for then I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. 2/3 of Yahawah. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. O sing, daughter of Zion, shout, O Israel, be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Yahawah hath taken away thy judgment, hath cast out thine enemy. The King of Israel, even Yahawah, is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil any more. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear not, and to Zion, let not thy hands be slack. The Lord thy power in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the approach of it was a burden. 19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. I will save her that healeth, and the help that healeth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. 20. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yahawah. So you can see Yahawah is definitely bringing out the end of this process we're going through, this captivity, and we will come forth victoriously through his power, not our own. And if he wants us to participate in that power, then he'll allow us to do so. Now, I wanted to read the chapter of Isaiah chapter 45 because it really does bring home the rest of this. But I know that I'm getting really long on this lesson, and I know how Jake is. But I say to you, go to Isaiah chapter 45 and read that chapter, because it wraps up this entire lesson in terms of showing the right and the left hand of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and how, as I said from the lesson, to the elect, Yahawah, to the elect, now understand my left hand. So, and then of course, I'll give you a side note on 2 Samuel 7, chapter 7, 1 through 29. So I just wanted to bring the lesson out. I pray that it was a blessing for you, and it brought forth what you understand about the left hand of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and how he is, he's not slack in the way that he's bringing his truth forward. And you clearly need to understand, we all can be touched by the left hand. No one is immune to it. And we need to get on point. So with that note, I'll say, call Hala, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. All praises to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Shalom.